All right, well, we talked about the background and how I got there and how it went, and now the good. Like, what was good about it? A whole bunch, mostly good. It was the best company I ever worked for by far. And even the company before that, Think HR, was pretty good in a lot of ways, pretty darn good. But this one, because of the benefits and stock financially, I guess that was one of the main things. It was just way above any other company. And yeah, I guess sometimes it does matter what the pay is and the benefits are. But also the job itself does matter after a while. And if it's not terribly fun, then you sort of look for new opportunities, as they like to call it. And as I said, yeah, they pay more for Silicon Valley jobs just because it's an expensive place to live. So, as I said, I think the contracting was 60 an hour. Was it 60 an hour? Yeah, I think it was 60 an hour. But I think the salary was probably about 120. And even then, when that was offered, I had other engineers saying, that's kind of low. I mean, you could be getting more, but I didn't want to push it. They might have asked for like, can we go higher? And like, nope, that's what we have for the budget. And like, okay, it was a pretty good offer because of all the other things. So they give you that and they give you $100,000 in stock. But it's not, I mean, most people probably know this, but I don't know if I ever asked or didn't know. It's over 4 years. So at the end of, you have to take an entire first year, because I didn't plan on being there that long. After the entire first year, you get 25% of that. And different companies work different ways. But then each quarter you get another small percent. So it kind of like, it's a nice little bonus every year. But yeah, I was like, oh, you didn't tell me all that. So the recruiters sometimes forget to, tell you things. They think, oh, you should know that. Well, I didn't. And every year you'd get, there would be bonuses and more stock. They would just give you stock. So the stock was a huge thing too. It's not a bad stock to have. In fact, I still have a lot of the stock. But also it's on a 4-year plan. So you don't get all of the stock until another 4 years goes by. So you're always 4 years away from being fully vested. And they were very generous at first, but then sort of after COVID, they wanted to start cracking down, and you have to kind of put in a lot more time for the same amount of rewards. And to me, it's like, no, I don't, my work-life balance just doesn't allow me to do that. More on that later. So what are the benefits? Well, I guess like most companies, the medical was exceptionally good. I hardly paid anything per paycheck, maybe $30 a month for medical. The dental was really good, so I could take care of all the, the main things. If you wanted special stuff, you had to pay out of your own pocket, like implants and stuff like that. I think my insurance actually covered part of my or at least whatever that insurance thing where you put money in and don't get taxed on it. So that, Invisalign, that's what I was trying to think of, that covered part of that. Vision was really good. I mean, it makes sense. I got to have people looking at screens all day. So the glasses, I was able to get some expensive glasses for a very good price, even though they're still overpriced, but if someone else is paying for it, I don't care as much. And yeah, the stock grants too. The stock grants were just really cool because you're always thinking, well, if I just get 3 more months, you're always 3 more months away from like maybe quitting. It's like, well, okay, just 3 more months and then I'll cash out. Now, as far as the campus, that's what they kind of call workplaces, like universities do. It's weird. But the campus was really nice. So once you're on campus, I mean, there's like big buildings everywhere and parks, and the cafe was awesome. Had all these different types of foods, like mostly Indian food, because it's like a lot of people are from India that work there. But then they had pizza and salads and burgers and tacos, and it was this like just massive area where you just get all these different foods. Now, other companies sometimes have entirely different restaurants like Google and stuff, but this place had it all kind of one building, but it was a big building. And then you could get your food and just go out, especially on the more pleasant days. You have a lot of those in California. You can go outside and eat it on like a covered patio area. That was just fun. So almost every day, I would meet up with some coworkers on the team and would just go to the cafe. I would get a massive salad and I would go eat my salad. Sometimes I would get the pizza because I just could not turn down pizza. But I enjoyed the cafe. I enjoyed a lot of things about the campus. Now, another cool thing they had was sort of the coding week, or I forgot what they called them. They had some funny words for them. But it'd be basically 1 week every 6 months. All your regular projects were put on hold, and you would do like this personal coding quest, or maybe get together with a few team members and just work on a project that you think would be beneficial to the company. I never really had any ideas, and I would always join someone else's team. Thought, okay, but I liked it really, because it started, really my first one was during COVID, and like during COVID it was awesome because you'd be at home and they'd like always have free food, but since you weren't on campus anymore, again COVID, you they would give you like $50 a day gift certificate vouchers for Uber Eats. So I would be like looking for food to buy. So sometimes the week would go by and I'd have like pizza ordered 2 or 3 times, and Indian food and Chinese food and even ice cream cakes or pies. And I had a hard time using up some of the vouchers sometimes. Like $50 a day on food can sometimes be tough to do, especially when you're trying to cut down carbs and stuff like that. So I did like that. But then when COVID ended, it was like, okay, now you got to be back on campus to get to all the free food was gone. So I thought, well, that sucks, because I was working remote at that point. It doesn't matter if you're remote full time, you don't get the food. Meh. Another cool thing was the team members were really, really good. I mean, everyone was good to work. I mean, some people more than others, but the people directly on my team were really cool. I mean, yeah, everyone there, I mean, there was just no real everyone's respectful for the most part. You might have disagreements about some things, but everyone was like really respectful. So I liked that part. But that also happened in the company even before for the most part. So I guess I'd always gotten lucky on companies I worked for. I mean, Commerce One had some idiots, but for the most time, people were like really respectful, and I enjoyed working with the team members, always trying to help each other. Although there was one incident where a manager, I was only there like 3 months at that time. It was probably 3 or 4 months, and it was mainly the project I had come in to work on was going to get launched, and one of the key team members was on vacation for like a month in India, and so the manager had come in and he had said, he's like, well, where are we in this project? And I said, because I didn't have the answer for it. It's like, I'm not sure. And he said, well, either find out or turn in your badge. I mean, this was like kind of loud in front of everybody in that, because open office kind of thing. We had cubes, so it was still kind of open. And I just thought about it. I just kind of paused. I didn't say anything. I just kind of paused. I thought, part of me said, you don't talk to me that way. Okay, I'm a contractor for starters. I don't have to be here. And it's just disrespectful, rude, unnecessary. It could have gone to HR, I guess, even as a contractor. It just sort of caught me off guard. I was just like, okay. I mean, I could have told him off, could have, said something back to him. That's not really my personality either. So I don't like having to do things that I'm not comfortable doing. But I thought about, I had a badge around my neck, and I just thought, here you go, bye-bye. No, I'm glad I didn't, because, it's pride, but it's also, like I said, it's a lot of money, and so pride is sort of kind of worthless. I mean, it kind of feels good for a little while, but then you just think, dang, I lost a lot of money. So, I don't know, maybe the guy was having a bad day, maybe pressures were building up. Later, when I, a few months later, like the end of the year, so he was the one that encouraged becoming an employee and approved me becoming an employee. So I really appreciated that. So he wasn't he just kind of had this little like attitude sometimes. Even when I took a vacation as a contractor, I said a couple weeks later, I said, oh, I need to take Friday off. It's like, no, you can't. You just took this day off. I can't approve this. It looks really bad. And another coworker said, you just can't do it that way. You just, you call in sick for that day and no one bats an eye. But if you actually try to take vacation, he has to say no. I said, oh, okay. So good to know. So for something like that, just take a sick day. I knew that now. But then anyway, as soon as COVID had started, like about a couple weeks into it, I got a call from HR and they wanted they were getting other employees' opinions, whatever, interviews about this particular manager. Said, okay, well, all right. So they asked questions like, do you feel it was fair? Has he showed favoritism? So I guess someone had put in a complaint about him, and now it was my turn. And it was like, do I want to, I remember that day. And I said, no, he was a great guy. So overall, I forgave the little incident because, again, he approved me being an employee and helped me a lot. So even though he had that little attitude sometimes, I thought, you know what, I can let that go. I'm not going to hold a grudge, and glad I didn't, because, why? All right, we're supposed to be talking about the good things, and those are pretty good things, but the jogging. So the bad, of course, we'll get to, but that commute. Well, the way to get around that commute was to not be in it. And that meant, coming in early and leaving late. So I just at one point started bringing more and more jogging clothes, and I would go on the Baylands trails. So they're sort of south of the Dumbarton Bridge. There's all this like wilderness area. And then go running. So I went jogging, and it would be like farther and farther each time. Sometimes even up to 18 miles. I mean, there was a couple really, really long ones, but most of the time it would be like, I don't know, 6 to 8 miles up to the San Mateo airport, and then come down and jog around. And I got to see all these birds, pelicans. There's a whole place named after pelicans. Just the sandpipers, I think, on the water. I got some great photos, great sunsets. It was just a nice time. I got a lot of exercise after work on those jogs. I got to see some really beautiful sunsets. So I really loved the Bayline. I mean, I got to experience really all the months too. So like a full year of jogging before COVID. So that part I really, really liked. Yeah, that was really, and then when I come back, I would use the showers. They even had a sauna, I think, but it said it was broken, but I don't know if it said it was broken. It's been like, it had a sign on for 5 years. It was like, and I saw someone using it one time, so I thought, I don't think it's broken. But I never used it. I was never daring enough or had time enough. But I would use the shower, and you could take like a 40-minute shower. Nobody else was using that stuff at 8 o'clock at night. So that was kind of cool. I had my hair products in there and some lotions, whatever. Yeah, we'd take the shower and my towels, stuff like that, and just bring a gym bag for clothes to cycle through. And then at 8:30 at night, get one last cup of coffee. And did I mention the free coffee and free snacks and free food? I made use of that. Actually, no soda though. Very hard to find soda there, and I pretty much went a whole year of no soda. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, 8:30 at night, I would drive home, and the traffic then was like 35 minutes. So it went from 2 hours to 35 minutes. So a lot of good things about it if you played your cards right. Also, when we had our big team meetings, again, 99% of the team was from India, so Indian food would usually be the choice, and that was fine because I enjoyed Indian food, and I don't have it that often, so it was kind of like, I was always surprised. It's like, don't you guys want anything else? Nope, that's what they wanted. So that was fine by me. It was tasty, high calorie, high carbs, but tasty. So the lunches, the big free lunches, were always enjoyable to me, and I like getting all that. The free food, there was a lot of free food and snacks there all the time. And they had a pretty good vacation policy. It took me some time to rack up the vacation, but I guess that falls under benefits. The vacations were really good, and they gave extra ones. Sometimes it'd be the whole week of Thanksgiving week or Christmas week, I guess. Thanksgiving was just 3 days. And then sometimes like the 4th of July week would be off. There would be a lot of vacation days. So the normal national ones, some extra ones, and then your PTO ones. So a lot of it added up. Not as much as Europe, of course, but still pretty good for America. So yeah, a lot of good stuff, a lot of great stuff, almost all good, but not all. There's a few of the bad things to discuss.